We're back. We're back from C2E2 in Chicago. I am Dom, and this week is knockout round 4 of the Collector Showcase. We're going to have at Collectorsupreme against DavidRussellFerguson for another epic matchup. Before we get going, if you like what we do, smash that like button, subscribe, and leave us a comment so we can improve on the show week after week. Without further ado, let's bring him in. Joe, Collector Supreme.
What's up, Dom?
David, Russell Ferguson, and our stat man for today, Patrick. He'll keep his keys. And in the studio or in the room.
Woohoo!
There we go.
Back, baby. Get out of here.
All right. For those of you who haven't joined us, we've got some potential people from Facebook jumping in that may not understand what the show's all about. This is a collector face-off, collector tournament. We bring collectors together. They show 6 books, a 7th book in case of a tie, and you all get to vote. There will be a straw poll that'll get shared in the comments. You get to vote. We share that, and the winner dances, and the loser has to do some other stuff. So we're going to get this thing going. Joe from Collector Supreme, you get to kick us off. Round 1, what do you got?
I'm going to start it off with a first appearance of Ghost Rider, Golden Age Ghost Rider, Tim Holt, 11, CGC 5.0. You see it?
We got you.
That's a nice one.
Is that first Ghost Rider?
Yep.
Nice book. What was great on that again?
The 5.0.
5.0. Page quality?
Cream to off-white.
All right. Very nice. David, what do you have for a counter for that?
Counter. Also something from Golden Age first appearance. Little book called World's Finest 3, first appearance of Scarecrow. Fortunately, they didn't stick him on.
Nice.
Can't really, it's the old label, so it's like very. I don't know if y'all can actually see the grade on it or not, but it's 8.5. It's one of those books that I saw, and saw it, wanted it, bought it. I won't. Yeah, it was kind of like, just take my money, please.
That's a great book. Fantastic book. Great way to start. Two heaters coming up. Chat, you got your work cut out for you. Straw polls in the chat for you to vote for round 1 winner. Any stats here, Pat? What do you got?
Yeah, all right. So Tim Holt's a little easier to look up. David, what does World's Finest say on the slab?
It's World 'S, World's Finest Comics.
Okay, I looked it up like a dumbass. So I'll look that book up, but we could talk about the Tim Holt because that was easier. So that's a really cool book. If other David was on here, he would be creaming over that book because it's one of his favorite books. There are 59 on the census of that Tim Holt, and that 5.0 puts it kind of near the middle top tier. There's about 20 higher. So it's like not in the middle, it's above the middle. So that's a really nice book. And then the World's Finest, there it is. All right. Baseball bat. So yeah, focus on me being inept. So That book, there are 122 on the census, and an 8.5 puts it, and I'm sure David already knows this because he's holding that book on purpose. It is one of the top 3 in that grade. So that is the top of the census in that book right there, with 2 that share the grade. But it's an old slab, so who says it can't be worked on and be the highest graded? That's a really nice copy of that book. Damn. Those are both badass books. So that's what I got on them.
They ain't too shabby, not at all. Those are pretty badass books. Let's see what we got for results so far. I'm gonna try to let's see if we can share the screen. We got David with a monstrous lead right now. I'm gonna try to share that screen if I can.
Have you ever opened that book, David? Do you have a raw copy?
Nope. It's like,
No.
people keep saying, oh, you should, like you did, send it in, see if you can get a better grade. But I also have a fear that given the quality control at CGC, that like, oh, we're sorry, we dinged your book when we were taking it out, and now it's a 6.
Yeah, no, I totally get, like, I don't crack anything, but people have success with it. I'm just like, man, I'm afraid, like you, I fuck it up, or who knows how many hands touched it on the way to me. I have to look in there in that case and go, is it really still this grade? Because it moves and stuff. And so sometimes that's why I really prefer buying raw, because I can fucking thumb through it all. But damn, that book is so crazy. When it's highest graded, it's just like he said. He's like, I saw it, I wanted it, I bought it. Fuck it.
They're looking good. They're looking good. Really good. All right, let's check the poll. I can't. There's no way for me to share the screen. 12-3 right now. David is putting a beat down on Joe pretty significantly. Let's see.
I mean,
here we go. I got it. Here we go.
it's not to say that Joe didn't come out gunning with that cover.
No, he did not. No, there it is right there. You guys see that? You guys able to see that or no?
Yeah, I can see it for sure.
There it is.
Straw pulling it up. That's how my pie looked last week when I got destroyed. Yeah, cool. That's why I don't tell stories, man. Fuck that.
Fuck that. There it is. Look at that. Love it. Get your votes in. Round 1 about to be in the books. Let's get them in. Before we're gonna have 2 trivia questions like we do for the past 4 weeks now. So we'll be giving away a couple books.
Oh wow. I'm so stupid. I just literally just figured out how to turn on the comments.
There you go.
I just thought nobody was engaging. I was like, this is kind of boring compared to Instagram. Nobody says shit.
No, we got everybody talking.
There they all are.
All right. All right, we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it round 1 in the books. David takes round 1 with that world's finest.
Yeah, I mean, well, some of those Batman covers, like, that's the interesting thing about him, and I think why, like, I don't know how much that book costs, but I don't like baseball enough to want it for Scarecrow, but it's a badass book. So, like, the draw on those books is crazy. I have books that look so stupid, like the book I showed last week with the table on it, the Cthulhu book. It's just got a table on the cover. It's like, what the fuck, right?
Yeah,
DC, but I love it.
Yeah, well, I will give Marvel kind of the edge over DC in regards to first appearances and covers, because like you think about DC, how many Golden Age characters like Penguin. Look at that Detective Comics first Penguin. It's like friggin' Batman on a boat.
I'll drink to that. They must have been.
But yeah, Marvel definitely gives a little bit more of a feature to the character on the cover. It's like, hey, this is coming up. Because the reason I asked if you opened that book is like, I want to know, does he play baseball in there? I've never opened it.
I think I remember someone specifically saying that there was no baseball actually played anywhere in the book, but that's just something I vaguely recall somebody saying.
See, that confuses me, but
All right. You know, comic books can be confusing at times, so it happens, right? It does happen. So, what are your thoughts on? Again, this may not be the right group, but Ahsoka trailer. Anybody watch it? Anybody catch it?
I did. I love it. I love it. It's cool.
Pat, no, nothing there.
I don't care about that book.
Pat don't give a shit.
Nope.
I haven't seen the trailer, but I'm also horribly far behind on all the Disney Plus Star Wars stuff. Like we finished watching the second season of Mandalorian last night, so still need to watch season 3 and then finish Obi-Wan and then Andor and then then I can watch the trailer.
where the hell is everybody else? Oh, they're okay.
It can be what do you call it? A little overwhelming at times. As a Star Wars nerd, I thought the trailer was pretty badass. So I'm hopeful that series, movie, whatever it's going to be, is going to live up to the hype.
Do you agree with what Max said in the comments there about it?
No, I don't.
No, I don't know. I didn't see that.
I didn't see the trailer.
No, I did not see that. So, all right, round 1 in the books. We're going to kick off round 2. David, kick us off.
Well, kind of speaking of what Patrick was saying about Marvel and kind of featuring the characters a little better, I have something that doesn't really need any introduction.
You got 2. Show me the quote.
Table.
Nice book. That's a nice grade for that book, man. That's a nice grade. Hell of a grade there.
Yeah. Many of the books that I have were kind of fell into that wanted it, saw it, got it category of collecting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice. Excellent. All right, Joe. You're up. What do you get for a counter? Tales of Suspense 39 and a 7.5 coming in hot. What do you got?
I got a Mystic 7, Alex Schomburg cover.
Yeah.
Destroyer,
Shit.
Hitler cover.
Look at that thing, man. That's very
That's
look at that, huh? That's a nice book right there.
a bad motherfucker.
Mystic number 7, you said?
Yep, number 7.
Yeah, that's great. Nice
So it's second appearance of Destroyer, Hitler cover.
So your copy's raw. Where are you trying to grade that at?
It's like a 3.0.
All right. So since you're holding it up right there, we could talk about that Destroyer cover right there. First of all, it's got little green people on it that are jumping out of a Nazi crate, and they're about to fuck up that dude that is no, keep it on that book. No, don't put it on me. They're about to attack this old man that is bound to the wall as Destroyer jumps through the motherfucking room. And then in the background, there's so much going on, but in the background, there's even more. There's like that 4-armed blue dude with a knife. This cover's crazy. And with that being said, there's 24 of these on the census. A 3.0 there's 2 other 3.0s on the census. It is the lower end of the census, but that's a dope book. Very cool. Very cool.
Very nice. All right. Nice offerings. Both offerings are.
So Tales of Suspense 39. Does it have the double quotes on it? I couldn't see.
Well, to Sunil's point, it has, I would say, kind of like 1 1/4 on the left side. It's not like double quotations, but it's not like just a single set either.
So That's, as you know, that's one of the hardest things about that book is that so many of them were miscut in printing that getting the full double quotes is a really tough thing to do. But that 7.5, there are 1,985 of those on the census, and that 7.5 is really near the top. Surprisingly, there's 194 and 190 on the census. And then
Fat.
wait, I'm looking at the Mystic book. Sorry, still. There's a whole bunch of books, but that's near the top. And that's a great book, man. Like, that's the book that always eluded me. I know that I talk about hating Iron Man, but he is an iconic character. And without Iron Man, a lot of stuff doesn't happen. So that's badass. And it features him. I think that's one of the better, like, Marvel cover. Like you said, that Marvel cover features Iron Man just like so well. Whereas to me, the Daredevil cover is a little garish, like the way that he's just there. And then there's extra shit in there. They're like, Daredevil can't carry the show. Let's put Spider-Man's face on here too and like cock it up. So that's a great book, man. Really, really great. I don't know if you guys are like paying attention to what's happened now 2 weeks in a row. Golden Age might not be the way to go in these early rounds. You might want to come swinging with books that people like personally want, because that Tales of Suspense 39 is a grail for so many people. That Mystic book is a grail for Golden Age collectors, and if you know what that book is like, whew. Yes. This round's cool. This is a good round.
2 banger books, 2 different eras here, and we've got a not so close of a round 2. So
get that straw poll, guys. There's less votes this round than there were last round. Let's pump it up.
Yeah, there's also less people in the chat.
How do you see that?
It's Easter weekend. It's a tough one to tough weekend to get people out in front of the TV, but we want to keep this going. We want to get eyes on the show and try to, get more visuals on this.
I keep forgetting it is Easter because it's like, for me, it's not a huge thing, but a lot of people.
Super quiet, right? Super quiet. All right, so we've got 10-3 with the Tales of Suspense 39. We're gonna call this round 2 in the books, 2-0. Poising or being set up to be another shut out. Another shut out. Can this be another sweep? All right. Yeah, maybe. Well, with that, let's go to the trivia question. Trivia question number 1. This is a Golden Age themed trivia question. First one to answer it correctly gets giving away Deadpool 55. It's a 9/8 white pager. That's one of the books. And then
who's on the cover with that? American Sniper?
That's Punisher.
Oh, I couldn't see his logo.
Yeah.
It was in the glare. I just saw like the military hat and the gun. That's dope.
That's pretty badass. And then we're giving away December 2, 9/8 signed.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
All right, let me get my typing fingers ready.
Double signed, Jeff Lemire, Dustin Wynn. All right. So first question is, first superhero team in comics during the Golden Age. What was it? What was the first superhero team in comics during the Golden Age? First person to answer it correctly will get the Deadpool book.
X-Men.
What? X-Men? Golden Age? No. Golden Age? What's wrong with you?
X-Men.
It ain't no X-Men. No. You
You
got to do
me, bro.
Is this thing called Google?
Cherry said X-Men.
Theory said X-Men. Yes, he did. He did say X-Men.
Captain Bucky.
Captain Bucky's a better answer than yours.
Yes. I'm not trying to win.
First,
All winners squad.
first, no, not Spider Ham either. Nope, sorry, Lee.
Exactly.
Nope. First superhero team in comics during the Golden Age. We'll give you a hint. It was a 1940s book, and it was a number 3 issue.
Last time I win, they say I can't. They took it back.
You can't win.
Couldn't even give it away.
Right. It was in All-Star Comics number 3 from 1940. What is the first superhero team that was shown in that book?
JSA.
Max wins. Max is correct. The JSA was the first superhero team to win.
He didn't use the internet at all.
No.
Yeah. Justice Society of America. Nice job, Max. But he used Google. You get Deadpool 55. Pretty cool cover with Punisher on it. Congrats. There you go. All right. Okay. Awesome. Round 3. Let's kick it off. Joe, Collector Supreme, what do you got? Oh, boy.
Silver Surfer 3, 9.6.
God damn this guy. All right.
So
First Mephisto. Okay.
Jeez.
9.6, bro. Nice
God
book.
damn. I didn't
How long have you had this book, Joe? Is this something that you got as a kid? You got 5 years ago? You got
I've only had one.
a couple months? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
God damn.
Nice book, man. That's a great book. Very nice. 9.6. White pages?
Off white.
Off white to white. Very cool. All right.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You're right. It doesn't matter. Okay. David, what do you got? What's your counter to that Silver Surfer 3?
Another one that kind of needs no introduction, and there's a slight theme to a lot of the ones that I have up. But first, if I can get the darn thing in the right angle. First, Poison Ivy 181, Batman 181. I believe off white to white pages. Obviously, it's got the centerfold in it. Otherwise, it would be significantly lower. But anyone that has followed my Instagram or even kind of casually glanced at it with the art that I have on there, you can kind of tell I've got a thing for Poison Ivy. So this was another one that was kind of a personal grail, I would say, because it took me a while to actually find a copy in this grade.
It's a high grade for that book. That's awesome. And it's got the centerfold pin up. That's great. Nice job. Nice book. Very cool.
This is actually way more comparative than I thought it was going to be. So his book there, the Batman 181, there are 2,931 copies on the census. In a 9.0, there are 53, which is very surprising to me. But then there are 32 in a 9.2, 20 in a 9.4, 9 9.6s, and 3 9.8s of that books, just blows my mind. I have a thing for Poison Ivy too, specifically Uma Thurman Poison Ivy.
Is that heavy?
What's that? That movie was terrible. She was great for me.
Yeah, she was like the sole redeeming factor of that movie, in my opinion, as well.
And then let me pull the Silver Surfer 4. There are 3,150 copies of that book. There are 44 in a 9.6, and there are 8 9.8s. It's a tough. That's one of the square bounds, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Square bound. Yeah.
So that's a tough book to get in that grade at that age range with the square bound cover. Man. But yeah, let's get some votes on this round here. I'm curious. I'm gonna bite my tongue until the end, and see. But
Interesting.
it's getting close.
two interesting books, two big books, high grades, not easy books to get in high grades, especially that Silver Surfer 3, square bound, always gets banged up. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see who takes this round. Before we get into the votes or continue on, I do want to shout out from Nickel and Dime Collectibles for donating this book to the prize pool and this Daredevil Virgin book to the prize pool as well. The winner does get a pretty kick-ass custom championship belt that gets sent to the winner in about 6 months after we're done with this. So along with the belt, you're going to get those two books and then whatever Sunil sends over from London, basically his slop donation. This guy.
Yeah. That garbage.
It is a 9.6, yes. Yes.
All right, Supreme. Joe is ahead, 10 votes to 7 right now.
Yeah, I mean that's a very, very big book. I was curious to see what David was going to bring against it. And I mean, a 9.0 in that Poison Ivy, you don't see that grade every day.
You know,
in either of those books, and I mean, I think I have a 2.0 in maybe both of those raw.
Yeah, they're tough.
So
they're both hard books to get in high grade, especially Silver Surfer 3.
And that's Silver Surfer. That's it.
What's that, T?
I believe I have a 5.0 and that's Silver Surfer.
Nobody cares what you have, friend.
I do. 5.0.
This dude sits here, man. This dude sits here watching the TV like I'm chilling.
Is that the floor?
Drinking.
He's drinking.
Where's my pizza?
He's got his feet up, looking for pizza.
Like surfing for pizza or looking for it in your mini fridge in that room?
He's in my house in the room.
Italian, there's no pizza.
There's pizza in the kitchen, man.
Where at?
That's racist, T. Damn.
Listen, dude, everyone's doing multitasking. Pat's bigging it up, and he's doing stats. I'm producing, trying to talk full time, and this jackass is sitting back, drinking, and looking for pizza.
Is he really in the kitchen?
Because he's high as shit.
Because you're Italian, though. That's the only reason he's looking for
No,
pizza.
it's because I'm Italian. That's what it is. I feel hurt. All right, let's check the votes. If you haven't voted, please get your votes in. The straw poll is in the chat. Hit that, vote, come back and check it out. Let's see what we got. Who's winning this sucker? Let's go.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Joe,
that's consistent with the previous round's vote. I mean,
there you go. Let's
give
get
us
it.
a fight, Joe.
Let's get it. Vote for your book. Let's hold them up. We're going to do one last pass. Collector Supreme with that 9.6. Silver Surfer 3 right now in the lead. Or is your favorite book Batman 181 and a 9.0 with David Russell Ferguson? Who takes round 3? Does Joe pull away to avoid being completely shut up? Holding on, man. Holding on for dear life, Joe. Let's go chat. Who's going to take round 3?
Strong.
Silver Surfer is holding up right now. 11 votes to 9. Yes. What are your plans for tomorrow? Anybody do something crazy, special, traditional?
Eating.
Or you guys just eat, get together, do nothing?
Egg hunt kids, I guess.
What's that, Joe?
Easter egg hunt with the kids.
Easter egg hunt with the kids. All right.
Yeah.
What about you, Pat?
Did you already do the eggs?
Huh?
Did you already do the egg? Are the eggs prepared?
Eggs are expensive.
Yeah.
I don't know why you guys doing that.
What's wrong with you?
I'm just saying.
You all right?
He's mad there's no pizza. Now he's pissed that we're hiding eggs.
Listen, this guy, listen, he drank one of these. He's already lit up. That's great.
He's feeling like Superman.
Yes. All right, we're gonna call it 12 votes to 9. Round 3 in the books. Joe, Collectorsupreme, holding it off. H1 for the win. 2-1 right now. All right. Nice job, Joe. How to keep it close, man. Excellent. All right.
T, you ready to take on LeBron right now, right?
Oh yeah. Fuck that dude.
Oh, this guy, he got no.
2 weeks. 2 weeks to play off the Lakers of the best team ever.
Wow. He's got a lot of hate. He's got a lot of hate.
That's some
Yes.
bullshit.
He's got
Yes,
a lot of hate for LeBron, man.
I hate LeBron.
I do. Passion.
Why do
Yeah,
you
but you're from Ohio, Joe. That makes sense. He was literally the only good thing to come from there, and then he shit on you guys.
Yeah.
All right, round 4. Let's kick it off. David, what do you got?
Kind of continuing, sort of alternating between Marvel and DC. Another good first cover appearance, I think, of a major key character. Also needs no real introduction.
Oh wow. That's great.
8.5. Page quality?
The downside to it is it was creamed off-white, but
That's all right. That's all right. That's still a badass book. All right.
Yeah, that's
Nice
huge.
book. Joe, what do you got? What's your counter, Joe?
I'm going Golden Age.
Yo!
Planet Comics.
Oh,
Damn. Trying to stay up.
number 1. Jeez.
That's not good.
You don't see that every day. Nice book, man. Nice book. All right. Very nice. Cool. That's wow.
Bright colors.
Yep.
That-
Nice book.
yeah, so
Yeah. Okay.
Bright colors.
All right. Round 4 is going to be a tight round here. We're going to let me update the straw poll, and we're going to get round 4 voting started
1-5.
Right,
super
nice.
quick. What do you got for stats? That-
So, man, first of all, Planet Comics #1 is S. Lou Fine. It's amazing. That book is fuck. I love that book. I don't have that book yet. That's one I don't have. There are 53 on the census. It's a tough Golden Age book. Starts one of the most iconic sci-fi, if not the most iconic sci-fi series ever in the Golden Age. And that's where it all started. A 1.5 is obviously going to be at the bottom of that census. But having that book at all is an accomplishment. That's a great book. And then Loki, there are definitely more copies of The Journey into Mystery 85. There are 1,380 copies of that book, but in an 8.5, there are only 20 higher. So it puts that Journey into Mystery at the top of the heap. For me, Loki is probably one of my favorite characters in the Journey into Mystery mythos. I like him better than Thor even, but that's just me. So man, that's tough. 8.5 is a huge grade. I think I had that book, and it was not an 8.5. It was a lot lower. So great book, great book.
All right, chat. The straw poll's in the chat. Get your votes in. Let's see who takes round 4. Before we get into it, you're starving. We got pizza here in the kitchen, man. You go through that door, there's pizza. Don't be a slob and make a mess, or I'm gonna cut your hands off. All right. Trivia question number 2. Guess this, the sender. Number 2, 98, double sign. Jeff Lemire does some win. Again, another Golden Age question. Who was the first super heroine to appear in a Golden Age comic book?
Was it Black Tar?
You cannot answer the question, and that's incorrect. I'll repeat the question. Who was the first super heroine to appear in a comic book during the Golden Age?
I feel like it was Black Tar.
Blonde Phantom, Miss Fury, no. Black Cat, no. Wrong.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Yes, I am sure.
I'm pretty sure Black Tar heroin showed up in Teenage Dope Slaves.
1940 from Jungle Comics #2. Who was the first heroine that appeared in that comic book? 1940s Golden Age. It's not Bat and Butterfly. Nope. Good guess, but no. Rula. Not Rula. No. All right. So we'll let the chat continue to guess incorrectly. It's not Sheena. Nice try, though, but not Sheena. So Phantoma, Evan Husney. Correct. Phantoma appeared in Jungle Comics #2. You want to show the chat? You want to show everybody what you're eating?
I don't want to show
You want to show? We're gonna show you. Let's show everybody what Thierry's eating right now. Come on, T.
Oh, all right, you meant my peanuts.
So Evan Husney gets that. So Phantoma appeared in Jungle Comics #2 from 1940. She's able to transform into a skull-faced. Yeah, there you go. All right, get out.
Oh, he got his pizza.
Yep, he got his pizza. He's good now. She was able to transform into a skull-faced creature that had some magical features as well. So, and she could fly. Right? That's Phantom. All right. It's not just great books you see here. You get a little bit of comic book history as well. Evan, back-to-back wins. You won last week both trivia questions.
You're such an asshole.
Congrats.
You're gonna go half on these?
Listen, Terry, you know what, man? You are the biggest T-Rex in the world, so we ain't going halves on nothing because I end up spending the money and then I don't get nothing back from you. Okay, let's check that straw poll. Let's see what we got. Come on, man. What we got? Let's go. It ain't that easy doing it all by yourself. Oh, Joe coming in hot. Look at this. JoJo making it a game. 12-7 right at Plant Comics #1. Bringing it in. Showing some heat. Chat. Loving that book. Very nice. All right.
Lou Fine. That's Lou Fine killing it on that cover right there. So
who's saying Jumbo Comics #2? Ali? ChatGPT says so. ChatGPT is where I got questions from. So what do you want me to tell you? That's contradicting itself.
Well, hold on though. Is Sheena considered a heroine because she doesn't really have powers, right? She's just got the tight leotard and the nice hams and swings around.
That's right.
But the Phantoma can do the stuff you said she can do.
She flies around. She turns into a skull-faced creature, and she's got some magic features. So she's a heroine.
When you say magic features, what does that exactly mean, Dom? Please.
She might be able to put a spell on you, or throw things out of her mouth, or I don't know. But she's got
the power of like lust over men.
She might, yeah. I don't know.
It's like I'm Phantoma, and you're like, well, yeah, you are, girl.
But you don't look too hot because you got the skull face, and it's not that hot. So I don't know, man. She got that poison, venom that you can launch at you. All All right, 12-7. We're going to call this one. Now for the books. David. Lost 2 in a row. You got to come back strong. Joe, Collector Supreme, just tied it up. 2-2. And kick off round 5. Joe, what do you got?
I got a Spider-Man 129. I was in Chicago last year.
Whoa.
I met John Bernthal last year, and he signed this. He put a quote on it. Says, "I'm the Punisher, bitch."
Nice. All right. I'm the Punisher, bitch. Very nice. Okay.
And he remarked it, and got it signed by Conway also.
Okay.
That's pretty good, man. That's a nice book. That's a nice book to come back with after tying it up.
You make me say numbers with too many syllables, Joe.
You're gonna have to. Pat's gonna have to work for this one. All right, David. What's your counter on that book? Round 5.
Going back to the Golden Age well, which is kind of my passion, I guess, collecting as opposed to the Silver Age Marvels, but it's a Batman 49. If you can't read the number at the top, it's got a couple of first appearances in it. Vicky Vale, Mad Hatter, White Pages.
No,
That's a tough book.
that's a great looking book right here. 8-5.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Okay.
we'll start with that book. That's a huge book. That's a huge grade. You say White Pages?
Yeah.
The census doesn't really put data on that, but I can tell you that it's tough to get White Pages in that book, or any book of that era. So there are only 236 graded on the census. 8-5 is near the top, and Go Collect. You can go fuck yourself. I'm not buying a membership.
All right.
Pretty much.
There are only 11 copies higher than that grade on the census. And like you said, that's a really big Batman book. It's telling me, no, we won't use that, but that's a huge book, man. Fuck. Like, way to come back and swing hard, because wow. In comparison, the Amazing Spider-Man 129, there are 14,448 copies graded on the census. Is that an 8.0?
Yeah.
There are 1,300 8.0s and thousands of copies higher. It's hard to tell what signatures exist on the book, but it's a really cool signature. And I've heard John Bernthal's a cool dude, so I think that's an actor I wouldn't mind having sign something like that for the character too. And you said Conway's also on there.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's an iconic book, man. Punisher is a huge character still. Dom, don't you love Punisher?
I like the Punisher. Yeah, it's a pretty good series. Yeah, I don't mind it. I like that book. It's a big book. Fan of the 129. I'm also a fan of that Batman run, that era right there. So 2 tough books. The chat has their work cut out for them.
And isn't the Jackal also first appearance of Jackal in that issue of ASM?
Yep.
Not many people talk about him, but I feel like that if I remember how that arc runs together correctly, like the clone stuff starts happening there, and that eventually leads to Gwen Stacy and shit. So that's kind of an important character in the mythos, but nobody really gives a fuck about Jackal when you got Punisher on the cover killing Spider-Man.
All right, straw poll link is in the comments chat, so make your way over to that link, cast your vote. Let's see who takes round 5. So before we get to my question, Theory, I know you like the High Noons, I know you like the passion fruit, but there is a great watermelon flavor.
Nah, I said the passion fruit. I know they're trying to set me up. Fuck you.
T, go for it, bro.
Just because I'm black.
Watermelon.
Well, no, that's just an extra bonus, I guess. No, just because watermelon's fucking good.
Watermelon's good. It's not. It has nothing to do with anything else.
You stay out of there.
David pulling away strong with this one. Jesus. All right. Before we get to the end of round 5, as a collector question, what is a book that is either your grail, the book that you've hunted for and you got, or what is the book that you continue to hunt for and you haven't attained it yet? David?
I think for me, it's kind of like probably also on the list of most people that are Batman, aficionados, would probably be a Batman 1. Had the opportunity to get one a couple of years ago, but it was, the price was decent, but it was CBCS and it was right when they were starting out. And I was like, yeah, because like I didn't want to have a PGX happen. So I didn't get it, and then obviously kick myself for that. But in terms of grails that I have, the 181 was one, and there was a similar, same grade 9.0 of Flash 113, first appearance of the Trickster, which was just another one that I was trying to hunt for that specific grade for a while because they do not come up that often. And I finally found one on an auction. I was like, again, saw it, want it, got it.
Very nice. All right.
I understand that style of collecting that he does. That's how I buy books too. I'm like, I need it, and I find it and buy it.
What about you, Joe?
Probably Batman 1. I've actually had a few copies. Just wasn't copies that I was happy with, so I moved them. But that's probably my favorite book, Batman 1.
Oh.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of them out there, like even not a lot, but a few of them on Instagram, on some of the consignment pages. But I don't have anything against a restored copy for that book, just given the book. But it's the snobbery in me comes out. It's like if I find one that's got restoration, I prefer it to be on the lower end of the scale. But the ones I've seen have come up have been like moderate to extensive, and my brain just kind of like maybe not.
Yeah.
I guess you are a little bit of a snob, David. That.
I mean, y'all are really.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I'm finding myself to be a snob. At C2E2, it was there were books out there.
How was it?
It was fantastic. It was great. It was a good show. It was great seeing people in person, and meeting Steve from Atlantic Keys, seeing Joe again, seeing his brother Richie. Fuck off.
Fuck.
Fuck off.
I love Richie.
It's like there's a direct message for you.
Meeting Wires. He's a staple on Instagram. So it was fun to see and hang out and meet up with people. Phil, Theo, Nigel. There's just so many people that are just great community members, and to be able to hang out with them and just chat, grab a phone, it was awesome. And then to be able to pick up what I thought was the book of the show, in my opinion, thanks to Rob at Red Hood to allow this deal to go down and happen. Again, that to me, 8-0 pedigree, to be able to walk away with something like that is pretty awesome, right?
Was that Promise? The Promise pedigree?
No, Rockford pedigree. Rob would have probably put another $5,000 on it if it was a Promise Collection premium number.
So, did you say that is Marie Antoinette behind you?
Yes, supposed to be anyway.
Is she the one? Because I'm bad at history, so everybody can make fun of me if I'm way off. But is she the one that like her people were starving and they didn't have any bread? She's like, then let them eat cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's her.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I feel like, David, you should be eating cake at the end of every round if you win. You start cake stuff in your face, dude.
Wow.
Can we do that? Yes.
Yeah.
For a
But
guy who got swept last week.
but again, yeah, that's pretty. That's
I
a
would
fair.
not be eating cake.
That's a fair comment, Pat, to make. Yes, with Marie Antoinette behind you. But again, I don't know about you all. As you know, the more you're in the hobby and the more you go through your collecting cycle, I'm going to call it a cycle because a few years ago it was Silver Age, and then a few years before that it was maybe some modern keys, and now it's maybe it was Golden Age. But I'm becoming very snobbish on the books that I want to bring home and have in my PC. And, throw your nose up at a AF-15 or a 181 or all the big keys that are shown up there. I don't know. It feels like I don't know if you guys ever get in that mood or get in that cycle when you're through your hobby, all the times you've been collecting. It's kind of how I'm feeling right now. It's like seeing the past. What's that?
It gets stagnant. Like you're like, I'm just bored of that stuff. And so you do like that's how I'm into pulps right now. I look around, I'm like, I've seen it all, and I want to see stuff I haven't seen, and that drives me to collect more.
Well, and I think that also it's like there's kind of an element of not necessarily collecting fatigue, but kind of like maybe collector fatigue for some books that, like, you look at Amazing Fantasy 15, like you just mentioned, Dom, it's like that used to not be anywhere. And now it seems like, you can't throw a rock at any Instagram consignment page like on a weekly basis without hitting a copy coming up. So it's like the wow factor is just kind of like, it's still, don't get me wrong, it's still like a mega, key and a mega grail for a lot of people, but just kind of the wow, Amazing Fantasy 15, holy cow, just isn't there anymore. Now it's like, oh, look, another one.
Yeah. Especially if you look at auctions for books, like you'll see 3 AF-15s in the same auction, in different grade, and you're like, well, I've got 3 chances to get it right here.
Right.
So the urgency I mean, it's still a cool book, but I agree completely with that. It's just, I've seen it.
Live it now. So, all right, we're going to wrap this up. Round 5 in the books. David Russell Ferguson takes round 5. Take the lead.
Oh shit, we're seeing
Swing hard, Joe, man. This could be your last book if you don't.
This could be. Yeah, 3-2 right now with David, and round 6. David, you kick us off. What do you have?
Kind of like, again, staying with the theme that I've kind of got, including my shirt. Like I said, Batman is Golden Age more so than Silver Age, because Silver Age, it's like I like reading them, but I don't really need to have copies of most of them, is kind of my mentality, except for like, the key books like First Appearances, in Silver Age of, the key villains like Penguin, Joker, Riddler, and this gentleman.
Yo, first Scarecrow. Yo. Nice book, man.
I think that's one of the, the Silver Age Batman specifically had a lot of really hokey covers that came out of that period, but I think this is one of the ones that was actually done well.
Yeah, it's a badass. It's a badass cover. It's a badass book right there. It's a 9/4, off-white to white.
White.
9/4 white nuclear book right there. Very nice. Congratulations. Very nice. Very nice. Nice book. Nice book. Joe,
All right.
round 6. First Scarecrow. What's your comment, man?
I have another Hitler cover. It's Blue Circle Comics #3.
Yo!
Hitler as octopus.
Hitler post.
That deserves that. That's a book right there that you don't.
That's a nice cover.
That's a crazy cover. Crazy book. Tell us a little bit about this book, Joe.
It's from 1944. Hitler as an octopus.
Wow, that's a great information right there, guys. It's not just about the books; it is about the information that comes from it, and you just heard it. You get it here, like all in one stop. You get great books, you get some banter, you get some laughs, and you get some info and detail on what you're looking at. That's a hell of a job, Joe. Fantastic.
All right. So the Hitler Puss cover, it actually does have a lot going on with it. It's got the homegirl with a trident cascading towards Hitler's octopus head. There is, I believe that's a barracuda or a badly drawn fucking sailfish. I don't know what that
It's
is.
a swordfish, maybe.
Yeah. So okay. So there's a swordfish, but they're both coming at Hitler's head. Some might say that's representative of some of the people in the war blowing him up. There are only 27 of those on the census. A 2.0 is the lowest grade, but it is a very tough book.
It's a big book right there.
And it's, it's books from that era with Hitler on them are just hard to get. People kind of don't let them go normally. So, and then we've got the Batman 189. And by the way, I might have to qualify people to be the statistician. Batman books are the hardest damn things to look up because the way continuity goes, there's more than one of everything. So
Right.
There are 1,757 copies of that book on the census, and 8.5 is top of the heap for sure. That's a tough book, and that's a cool cover. So
yeah, it's a badass. Like if you haven't seen this thing, Joe, put that thing up close.
It's not 8.5, it's 9.4.
What?
Oh, it's 9.4. Excuse me. Then I need to go back real quick. I saw that wrong. So that's even topper of the heap. And David is a gentleman for not saying, you jackass, my book is better than that.
All right, Jack, get your votes in. Round 6 right now is 3-2. David Russell Ferguson ahead of Collector Supreme. Who is going to take round 4, knockout round, to advance into the next grouping, next pairing?
Yeah, I like it. Let's push it to a tie. Get 7 books out there. I want to see the breaker.
Come on, chat. The link is in the chat for the straw poll. Get your votes in. Plenty of people in the room to cast your vote. Who takes it? Round 6. Is it going to be David or is it going to be Joe to come back to push this into a tiebreaker? Which, as we know, you have to show you both books at the same time. There is no lag. You're going to put them up at the same time if this thing does advance into a tiebreaker. So, a lot of action, potential nail biter coming down at the end.
That's a tough ball.
It's a tough call. You got you got the blue circle that I think this is the second time I've seen this book. And yes, David's book is a 9.4. You don't see that grade very often. But
yeah, so follow up on my mistake. There are only 28 copies higher than that. That's very top of the census for the Batman 189. And then, Joe, have you cracked open that blue circle to see what goes on in that story?
I have not.
Damn. Got
Get your votes in. Get your votes in. It is too close to call. Collector Supreme right now, 9-7. Blue Circle, just a tad ahead of the Batman 189, which deservingly so. It should be too. It should be.
He the swordfish and smacks the girl in the ass inside the book.
He what?
Great information. That's great. Thank you. Bro. Appreciate that. That's the information we're looking for.
So they get Hitler and then they go get it on. Is that so? It's the first appearance of Shape of Water.
I thought it was
Got it. Okay.
I need a drink. This show's driving me to drink, man. Fuck.
That movie drove me crazy. I went back and watched it all the way through to the end because, like, when I first saw it, I realized that she was going to get down with the fish guy. I was like, I can't get behind this stuff, man. This is weird. I watched it all the way to the end. I'm like, yeah, no, it's still weird. But I gave it a chance. I gave it a fair chance.
You did. You did give it a chance. All right. We're going to call it, man. We're going to call it right now, 10-7. You got 10 seconds to cast a vote. If you haven't voted, the straw poll link is in the chat, in the comments. Is it going to be Blue Circle or the Batman 189 that takes round 6? Does Collector Supreme tie it up with this round, or does David take it for the win? 10 seconds to go. Who is going to either move on, or is this going to be a tiebreaker situation? Theory, what do you think is going to happen here, man?
I think this was over.
You think this show is over?
Yeah.
You do?
Tiebreaker right there. That Blue Circle is a dope book.
It's a dope book. So the show's not over. It's going to go into a right?
Nah,
We get great commentary. We give you good insights, and we give you logical information.
You see what's going on?
Formally counted our votes.
Holy cow. Thank God for YouTube. We're bringing two communities together, by the way. We're bringing IG, where we started this show, over to YouTube, and we're trying to get two communities together to jump on this show and give it the attention it needs for these collectors to showcase their books, their PC books, and some great information, as we saw with Joe earlier. All right, last chance. Let's check it out. What do we got? We're going to call it. Round 6 in the books. Joe, Collector Supreme, brings it to a tie. We have a tiebreaker.
Go. Let's go.
This is what this is all about. This is what we wait for. We love this. Chat, this is all up to you. Tiebreaker. What are we going to do? What's going to happen?
All right.
What books are you going to show? All right, so let's give this a little minute for you guys to situate yourselves, figure out what book you want to present for round 7, tiebreaker situation, and what it's going to be.
Where the fuck did David go?
Did David leave?
I'm running away.
He's here. No, David's here. He's here. They're all here. All right.
I can't take the pressure.
David Hayden. All right. Do you guys have your book? Have you guys selected the book that you want to show?
Yep.
Yes? Okay.
Yep.
We're going to count it down. 3, 2, 1. Show your book, please. Look at this. All right. Let's see what we got. We got another Batman with David.
I know it.
Batman. And then with Joe, we've got a weird. Woo! All right. Joe, talk about your book.
62.
All right, David, talk about your book, David.
This is another one. It's like, as you can probably tell from the cavalcade of Batman-related books that I've popped up, primary primarily Batman, Silver Age, the Marvels were just kind of like sort of a byproduct of that. But several years back, just kind of went on, an auction type of buying spree, month to month. And this was one of the ones that came up. It's like, I like this particular book because compared to, Joker, a lot of the other villains didn't get as many Golden Age love in terms of the covers that he did. So like, this is one of the, I think, handful of Catwoman covers that are actually out there. And it's the label that says Origin of Catwoman, Catwoman's name revealed as Selina Kyle. So that's like the first time she is referred to as Selina Kyle instead of just the Cat, which I believe was kind of how they referred to her, the entirety from like Batman 1 up to this point.
Very cool. All right, Joe, your turn to share about your book. What do you got?
Weird Tales of the Future, number 8. I believe this is Harvey. I believe.
Great information.
Harvey.
1953.
Are you talking publisher, Joe?
Yeah, I forget who the publisher is.
It's Aragon Publications. Bernard Bailey did that cover. I love that book.
Yeah.
It's a great book, man. That's a great book. It's a tough book. And if you're in that genre, that's one of the books that you should have in your PC right there.
What grade are you trying to call that?
Like 4 or 5. Oh, nice copy. It's a nice, clean copy.
Okay. All right. So that Weird Tales of the Future number 8. Since I'm right here on the data, a 4.5 would put it kind of in the middle of the pack in the 60 copies that are graded. That whole series is kind of tough. That's one of the cooler covers because it's just so gruesome. Like the dude's heart is laying there on a table and he didn't die from whatever maniacal operation happened to him. And he's like, shit, that's my heart. I got to get back to it. I kind of relate to that, when I do certain things. So that's a cool book. And then you got, like David said, I don't know how many covers actually have Catwoman on them because I don't collect Batman specifically. They're just too expensive for me. Like, that's a really, 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 really nice copy of that book. There's 190 total on the census and 85. There are only 8 higher of that. So that's a tough book. And what did you say it was the first appearance of on there?
It was the Origin of Catwoman, Catwoman's name revealed as Selina Kyle. So it was basically the first time they actually refer to her as anything other than the Cat.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so that's a tough book right there. I'm curious to see how the voting comes out on this one, but man, you guys both brought heat.
Game to play today. Great books. This is what this show is all about, seeing some books that you don't see every day. Great books, great PC books, whatever the case is. Awesome job, both guys. We're going to bring this to a tiebreaker. It's fantastic. Awesome. Get your votes in, guys. Let's see it. Too close to call. Plenty of people in the chat to make it. Yo, look at this. All right.
Yeah, Sunil, there are 8 higher, and let me pull that book back up. Was it issue 60?
62.
Yeah. I feel like there was 198, which I should have noted, but that's tough book.
All right. We're getting to be at that time where this is going to wind down. I believe the votes are in for what we have in the chat. We're going to call it very soon. If you haven't voted, go to that straw poll link in the comments. Cast your vote for your favorite book. Is it that Batman or is it that Weird from Collectorsupreme? Or is it DavidRussellFerguson that takes this to advance into the next round? Again, if you like what we do here, smash that like button. It helps us. Subscribe. That helps us immensely, and leave us comments so we can improve for next week. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Hopefully, we brought you some great books, some entertainment, some laughter, some good information, maybe. I mean,
we brought information.
We did. We did bring some information. I don't know how good it was, but we did bring some information, right? All right. It is going to be that time of the show. It is time to call the tiebreaker round. Congratulations, David Russell Ferguson advances into the next grouping. It gets closer to potentially winning the Collector Showcase, winning that belt, bragging rights, all that comes with it. Maybe in 6 months when this is all over, you'll be the finale. Joe, sad to say, you got to get bigger books.
I didn't bring the right one today, so.
Well, that's the interesting thing I find about this is, it's like for you can have, something like kind of like circling back to an Amazing Fantasy 15 or like say, Things and Things had like a friggin' first Superman. And it's like, it just really depends on what, the chat prefers. Cause like you could have something that you might think is a surefire bet. And then if the chat isn't feeling it.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. You flop hard.
It's like great Batman. So
it is funny to see the outcomes and to see what happens, right? Last week was, some people could call that an upset, right? Patrick was last year's champ. He's got thick books. We know what he has. We know he's got a thick collection. But you do, man. Serious books. It's not 2 books.
There's strategy is in this. Like
there is strategy, and if you're not, you look at Andres, you look at yourself, you look at, someone's going to lose, somebody's going to win, but at the end of the day, you strategize on thinking that the books that you bring into the competition at that round are gonna be better than your opponent. But it has nothing to do with what you think. Unfortunately, is the better book. It's the chat, what they like, what they covet, what they gravitate to. Right? If you're golden age.
I was gonna say it's probably not even just the chat, but who's in the chat, because since we kind of have a cycle of people watching every week, a book that might have played well to an audience last week might get a meh the next week.
100%.
That's true.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. If they saw that book already, sorry, not gonna get it. I want to see the different. I'm gonna go for the different book. I haven't seen that book, so anyways. It is nothing's guaranteed in this, and this is a marathon, so there is strategy behind it. Patrick, you saw that last year, where you put up some big books, the other opponents put up some big books, and what happened, right? But it is not. It's long. It is long. You gotta have yourself some books to be able to last, right? The next round. So hopefully, David, you didn't, as they say, release the hounds, right?
Oh, the hounds. I thought you were saying something else.
I think my brain went to the same place yours did, Patrick.
We didn't blow it low, David, on this round, man. All right. All right.
No, thankfully I got reserves.
Right. All right. Joe, we know you blew your load this round, and it wasn't enough. So we'll.
I was trying to save the big ones for Max next time. But
Yeah. That's the problem. You gotta play for today.
yeah.
You gotta play for today, and that's what Patrick did last year. He played for today, and he unleashed the hounds. week after week, and he didn't give a fuck. He just came at it.
Let's go.
You know, last week he, whatever. Call it a brain fart, call it a fuck up. I don't know what to call it, but
mushrooms.
it's all right. He was high as shit, I think. All right. Let's wrap this up. Let's put this week in the books. Happy Easter, everyone. Chat, happy Easter. Thank you for hanging out with us on a Saturday afternoon. David, congratulations. You advanced to the next round. Patrick, thank you for joining us. Joe, good to see you as always. Thank you for being here, but you're going to have to get bigger books. Theory, great contribution. I hope you enjoyed the pizza and my drinks. Happy Easter.
I want a nap now.
Bye,
There you
everybody. Thank you very much. Have a
All right,
great
see y'all
weekend.
later.
We'll see you in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Beautiful art.